Normally on Throttle House, we start with a unique intro of some kind, but today is different because this marks the 1-year point that James and I have been doing Throttle House together.
So we wanted to make use of this moment to feature something a little bit special. There aren't many cars out there that get to be called a living legend. The R34 GTR is one of them, and it comes in the form of an all-wheel drive racing-bred turbocharged Savage. Ask a cloaked man on any street corner about it, and he'll regale you with tales of tuning and modification, of supercar annihilation, and a legion of racing wins. The one we have today is a stock motor GTR in V-Spec 2 form, which we'll talk about in a minute. And if Thomas placed the order correctly, we might see an R35 that's been overnighted from Japan later in the video.
But back to this, because perhaps the most significant part of GTR history is that it was a favorite of the late Paul Walker. He contributed to the car's fame like no one else could. His contributions, however, didn't end there, and off-screen, Paul was a dedicated humanitarian. He started an organization called Reach Out Worldwide after he went to provide aid to the victims of the earthquake in Haiti. Since then, it's grown into a hugely successful humanitarian effort with Paul's brother Cody at the helm, who, when he found out we were featuring Ro in this video, was kind enough to send us this message.
Yo, what's up, you guys? Hey, first and foremost, James and Thomas, I just gotta admit, I've been a long-time viewer of your channel, and it's just been so awesome to see you guys grow so fast in such little time. You guys are cranking it out, and it's top-notch stuff, and I love every second of it. I just want to thank you guys so very much for featuring Reach Out Worldwide today on your channel. Paul founded it almost 10 years ago to help communities stricken by natural disasters around the world, and they continue to do so, and they're able to do so because of the wonderful supporters and the supporters in the car community like you guys. So if anyone wants to learn more about the charity that Paul founded, it's called Reach Out Worldwide. There's a link in the description below. If you choose to support, that would be wonderful. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy the episode, and Thomas, James, keep killing it, boys.
Oh wow. R34 GTR V-Spec 2! This has the perfect amount of power, and I'm sitting on the right side of the car, the correct side of the car.
Immediately, this is just such a special place to be. Everything's canted towards the driver, and I've got lots of information on my screen right there, which looks like it's from the era that it is. Now, this has a twin turbo inline 6 with independent throttle bodies. That means the throttle response is very good, and there's hardly any turbo lag. I mean, we say that for modern cars and it's getting tired, but for a car from this era, that's so impressive. It really is.
It revs to 8,000 RPM through its twin turboed 6 cylinders. I love the way the boost just rolls in the power. The gears are so tall, you're in the gears forever. I think this is the first turbocharged car I've ever driven that revs as high as 8,000 RPM. Tons of power in second gear and third, and this is stock power.
It didn't take us very long to realize that in a world of electric and over-assisted cars, vehicles like the R34 start to feel really necessary. Immediately, the car feels so analog. I saw James ripping down here, just no fear. And you wanna know why? It's because the steering is so good. Honestly, it's the steering just off center is immediate feel of the front wheels. And when you get it into the middle of the corner, I'm feeling every bump and undulation. It gives you so much confidence, and oh my God, if I missed good steering like this.
I'm shocked at how well sorted this feels in the corners. It's confident, it's tight. I don't normally expect to feel this from a car from 2001. And these seats are unbelievable and bolstered in beautifully on the corners, and yet still so comfortable. This R34 in particular has been upgraded with Öhlins dampers, inspired by Nismo's own Clubman RaceSpec, and it's pretty much perfect. But it just, the confidence here.
In the corners, it's really well sorted. You can point the front end. Like there's lean and there's
indications that the car is from the era that it is. But honestly, I'd take this type of experience over what we're getting nowadays, because this just feels really special.
I'm shocked at how much the horsepower in this feels completely adequate, if not more than I need. It still feels light around the corners, it feels tight, the suspension is unbelievable. This doesn't feel nearly as old as I thought it would. Does it feel old in some ways? Yes, the road noise is bad, but that doesn't matter, because when you push it, it gives you so much back.
I know everyone mods these, but I'd never driven one fully stock like this, and I don't think I would. It's fun as it is. At 150 grand though, which is what you'd have to pay to get something like this, interesting value proposition. However, does it look 150 grand? James and I are gonna go talk about that. Oh. Special day.
It's something very familiar getting out of a car this side.
Yeah, totally.
And what a beautiful car this is. So for anyone that knows GTRs, you'll know that the V-Spec 2 looks a little bit different to this, because this has the Z-Tune kit. This is what it used to look like, and this is what it looks like now. And I think you and I can both agree.
It's all the better for it.
It's so much more
It looks
aggressive.
unbelievably. I love this hood especially. This is carbon fiber, okay? There's a lot of actual stuff going on. Air comes in here, it comes out here, and it comes out on these little muscular shoulder things.
Yeah, these look so good.
That's off the race car.
Yeah?
So cool. It looks unbelievably. Actually, the whole car is perfectly proportioned.
What a presence it has.
My favorite part, though, are these limited run Ray's LMGT4 wheels. They look incredible. They complete the look.
Yeah, I agree.
They're fantastic. This wing, obviously, this is adjustable. A little bit of carbon fiber on there.
Yeah, so there's some Nismo stuff going on,
Yes.
some Z-Tune stuff.
And,
whatever it is, it works.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I love the look of this car. Should we talk about the interior?
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome to 2001.
In the best way possible.
Yeah, well, the owner's realised that because he hasn't even changed anything in here. This is completely stock.
So neat.
Although we do have this calculator.
That's a turbo timer.
Turbo timer, yes.
Yeah.
It times the turbos as they run around the racetrack.
So what it does is it keeps everything running for a few seconds after the engine turns off to keep oil running to your turbos to increase their life and longevity.
But less boring.
Okay, that's really cool. Okay,
These
fine.
seats are unbelievable.
They're amazing, yes.
And well, this is the V-Spec 2, so it's actually a slightly different interior. I think the
Yeah.
seats are the same, but the design and the cloth and the colours.
These are so
it's
comfortable.
darker.
Like
So
I'm going to dwell on it because
and bolstered.
like the Type R, the new Type R is the only thing I've driven that has seats that are this comfortable and bolstered. The way that it
agree.
balances that. TV.
Well, actually, so you get to see 7 engine statistics running as you drive. Which
That's
is
pretty
really
cool for the era, because my
And-
M3 from the same era has no information.
Well, you can also set the shift for the revs for when the rev light comes on. Which shift, which revs you want it
That's
to
pretty
tell
cool.
you to shift at the shifts.
You nailed that.
Yeah, I'm not good at working this.
This has terrestrial TV.
It has terrestrial TV.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it works in Canada, but if I could tune it to One Punch Man and drive my
Then I would.
GTR, I would. Yeah.
Gauge cluster is so cool.
Very analog.
Orange GTR, Nismo, steering wheel. It is nothing else other than a steering wheel, which I appreciate very much.
Yeah, it doesn't
It's
try
rare
to be
these
much
days.
more.
Honestly, though, this is super, super cool. And oh, guess what? Our R35 is here. That's service, right?
That is service.
There we go.
Oh. All right, thank you. Cheers.
Is he gonna run back to Japan?
He's got long legs.
The R35 then is still the newest generation of a monster, a tall city-destroying one at that. It now makes 565 horsepower and 467 pound-feet of torque. This 50th anniversary edition costs $140,000 Canadian. That's almost $60,000 more than when it came out 10 years ago.
All right, GTR, launch control, head back. Oh my God! To this day, that is still the most shocking launch control of any car.
That's a punch to the face. Oh, yes, it's quick, but what else can it do?
Twin turbo V6, hand built. Oh, huge amounts of boost. They actually turned up the boost a couple years ago, give it a little bit more power than the first couple years of the R35. So there's more power. But I mean, you can put a software tune in an old one and do the exact same thing. So the power is immediate and a very serious. Oh, it's just such a frantic engine. Unless you have an aftermarket exhaust or some intakes, it doesn't actually sound that cool. I mean, it just kind of sounds like a V6, a little bit of whooshing noises. I almost want more out of it.
That's like Tesla Model 3 performance quick. And that's immediately where it lets itself down. That is appalling steering. There is more feedback in my PlayStation DualShock controller. The moment you get off center, it just disappears. It's like someone's turned it off. I have no idea where the front wheels are. It's such a shame, because the steering wheel is like the best looking steering wheel in the business. It looks like it's been taken out of something like God of War. It looks like a hammer, like a weapon that you unlock at the end of the game.
All right, you've probably heard journalists say in the past that this feels like driving a video game. That's a phrase that is difficult. What does that mean? I'm gonna explain it to you really, really quickly. This car does everything for you. It creates colossal G-forces, and the all-wheel drive system is incredibly advanced. So it kind of just puts the power to whatever wheel needs it. But the thing for me that makes it feel very sterile, inert, is the steering. As soon as you get past center, you feel the power steering pump kick in, and the steering is dead, lifeless, nothing. There is nothing to it. And I dislike that greatly, especially after getting out of the R34, which had honestly some of the best steering I've driven in a long time, even better than my E46 M3. This feels like nothing. It ruins a lot of the drive for me.
That isn't to say that there isn't a unique novelty to the car when you really push it. You can feel the systems working, moving power around and generating grip where there should be none, and that alone in its own way makes it fun. But compared to certain cars, it doesn't feel as pure. Like, say, I don't know, an R34 GTR?
It wasn't just an experience, that car. It was an education. It was a time warp in such a good way. This is not the first time we've compared old versus new on Throttle House, and when we compared the Miatas, we were overjoyed about how much the ND captured the magic of the original one. And I can't say the same for these, and that's upsetting. But one place that it does impress me is its styling.
It's still a GTR.
It is. It drives very differently to the R34 though.
So differently.
Yeah.
Maybe not in a good way.
Maybe not.
Okay, this is the 50th anniversary. How much do you think it costs to get this badging and the blue and the stripe?
And the interior stuff.
And the interior stuff?
Don't undersell it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 10 grand.
9 grand, very
9 grand.
close. Well done.
As a percentage of MSRP, not crazy. As a number in and of itself, it's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it gets you some weird little things here and there. There's a lot of 50th anniversary stuff on the inside, but we've got these wheels with this weird blue thing.
That looks like a reflection of the body paint
Until you look up close, and
yeah.
it's not, and then it's just not good. This has this big white stripe on the front, which looks awesome, I think.
It looks like a Camaro stripe from the
A little bit. It's a little bit American, actually.
Yeah.
But overall, the shape of this is still...
I think it looks great.
Yes.
Nissan are very good at making timeless looking cars,
Yeah.
which is much to their benefit because they don't update them ever.
All right, back end.
Well, this is where the 50th anniversary gets a bit hairy. Because
Well, it only says 50th anniversary in one location here, which is great.
no, except for the bit that's been pulled off a party balloon and stuck on.
I was just going to pretend that wasn't there.
Yeah, well, you could, because you should rip this off if you ever buy
Immediately.
one. It looks
yes.
awful.
Horrible.
Other than that, super badass. You got these tips here.
Yeah, carbon fiber. All right, interior.
Ooh.
The color is very good.
It's nice. It's relaxing. It's calming.
Yes, it really, really is.
Yeah.
So this Alcantara stuff up here is part of the 50th anniversry edition. So is the fact that it says 50th anniversary on the things.
Wow, that's a very subtle.
Is the most subtle
yeah.
of all things.
They're not that proud of 50 years,
Also, 50th anniversary comes with an Alcantara steering wheel. This is an option with it.
which is probably for the
Probably
best.
for the best, I guess.
It'll last longer.
Otherwise, this has not changed that much. There was an update a few years ago for this area here.
They've gone with the cushy seats though. Still,
They're
That
too
hasn't
narrow,
changed.
though.
Do you think so?
They're too narrow. They're nice, but they're too narrow.
They're narrow on the lower back.
Yeah, no, they are. They hold you in very well.
They make you know you've just had lunch. You know,
exactly.
in an upsetting way.
The gauge cluster is cool looking, but kind of old looking.
The carbon fiber look.
Well, you don't see that at night, actually. Speaking of at night, these buttons on the steering wheel here are so dim at night that you can't even see them. There might be a way to turn it up. The cluster illumination adjuster only does the cluster. It doesn't do these. It's super dark. I don't
This
know.
looks so cool though.
It looks very, very good, the stitching on the steering wheel. No, honestly, it's fine in here. It is outdated.
I don't find it that bad, The trouble is if you got out of this and got into, I don't know, a 992 911 for the same price.
For the same price.
You'd be like, oh.
Oh yeah, that's what cars can look like for this price. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. I mean, otherwise, this is pretty cool. You got all the tech in here, and there's the functionality of like it shows you all the information of your engine. Obviously, these toggle switches are like you feel like such a hero playing with these buttons, like to go into launch control.
Yeah, it's boss mode.
Yeah, you just like you go they illuminate red, and it's so cool. Otherwise, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here that I remember from my 2008 Nissan Altima. So
don't claim that. All right, that's first of all, it's a weird flex. Right? It's an Altima, and
Yeah,
also there's no way it's the same.
It literally is the same. I promise it is. So is the key, actually. We should do a conclusion outside the car because like there's some important stuff to talk about with this car.
Yeah.
All right, we need to talk.
We need to talk.
Yes.
1 year and you're breaking up with me already.
Yeah. 50th anniversary. This is a lot of money.
140 grand. That's a lot.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah.
What can you get for 140 grand? You can get, we said a 992 911 already. You
AMG
can get
GT,
yes, you can get an M5 competition.
an R34, 2 R35s used.
Yeah, you could, and one of them would be tuned.
The GTR is supposed to be the sub 100k car that
Yes.
destroys 100k plus cars. And now this is a 100k plus, way over. And the Nismo is even more than
It's
that.
insanely expensive.
It's a tough buy.
I'm not sure that I can recommend this particular car.
Would
but
you
I mean,
spend 150 grand on an R34 though?
if I was like steeped in JDM lore, yes.
And money.
And money.
Yeah.
I don't have either of those things, but I would. I think I would, because that felt like a really, really special car.
It was epic.
It was really, really cool. This is still awesome, but if you're going to buy an R35 right now, buy a used one and tune it. All right, let's do this.
You know what's so great about this?
What?
We've avoided it thus far. We still haven't got to say subscribe because this lady says it for you.
Is that what she says?
I have no idea.
Okay.